Namaste, angels. This is the daily reading for today, March 15th, into and through the weekend. It's Friday. I didn't do a reading yesterday. I certainly meant to. I certainly intended to, wanted to. I had a client in crisis, and that went on for quite some time. And then finally, I was going to say finally when I was finished with her, but I wasn't even finished with her. She was still messaging me into the afternoon, like 3 o'clock, 3:30, as I was driving my son to the doctor, because that's another thing that popped up. He came and was like, oh, he was late for the doctor. Could I drive him? So that ended up in my schedule. By the time I got back downtown from that, because his appointment was at 4. It was already like 4:30. I hadn't even gotten dressed for real yet. I had been out in the daytime shopping and stuff for my daughter because she went on a trip today. Today was her senior trip. My baby's all grown. My last one. And so I had been doing that all morning, and then came home to this client in crisis, and so now it's like 4:30. I got literally minutes to get dressed for real for the day, 4:30 in the afternoon, to make it to my SLT meeting, which is school leadership team in the New York Public Schools. The chancellor requires that all public schools have a PA, Parents Association, or PTA, Parent and Teachers Association, a school leadership team, a SLT, and a PAC, a Parent Advisory Committee that works with Title I funds. And so I am on actually all three of those committees, and the SLT and the PA met last night. So I had, like I said, minutes to get dressed to make it to my SLT meeting by 5 o'clock, and was at meetings until like 8:30. And then I had to take my daughter to another borough, to Queens, to look for ski pants. Now, I tried to be prepared well in advance. And I kept asking her, what she needed. And Elijah and I are very close, we're super tight. But she was still being a teenager, you're driving me crazy. Leave me alone. We're going to have to stop. And then calls me yesterday. So in the midst of all this other bullshit that's going on, calls me yesterday at 12:30 in the afternoon. So yeah, I just found out all my friends are bringing ski pants. And I'm like, really? Now you want to tell me that? I tried to make you ready. So I took her late, after the meeting to Dick's and Target and forgot where else. Yeah, I don't even remember where else. Marshall's, I think, to get some other stuff. So I didn't get home until 11 o'clock. I was literally running around all day yesterday from 8 in the morning. So that is why there was no video. Because at the same time, I thought to try to squeeze it in. And then I was like, you know what? Just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. Don't drive yourself crazy. So that's what I decided. It was a good day on my end. And it was to be a special day, at least as far as us math geeks are concerned. It was Pi Day, so 3.14 and the number that goes on forever after that. It was also Steak and BJ Day. Those who are, coupled in any kind of way, who are into that sort of thing. There was that. It was Einstein's birthday. Again, for math and science geeks, that's a big deal. It was the anniversary of Stephen Hawking's death. So again, for math and science geeks, that's a big deal. But I didn't get to talk to you guys. All right, so we're going to make up for that today. I'm beginning with the year 44 BC. So 44 representative of the archangels. Julius Caesar is stabbed to death by Brutus, Cassius, and several other Roman senators on the Ides of March in Rome. So a whole bunch of them just stabbed him up. 221. Liu Bai, a Chinese warlord and member of the Han royal house, declares himself emperor of Shu Han, claiming legitimate succession to the Han dynasty. 1493, this motherfucker. Christopher Columbus returns to Spain after his first voyage to the New World. 1783. In an emotional speech in Newburgh, New York, George Washington asked his officers not to support the Newburgh conspiracy. The plea is successful and the threatened coup d'etat never takes place. I guess they wanted to overthrow George Washington, but he got to his people first. 1917 or 9/9, Nicholas II, the last Russian Tsar, abdicates and nominates his brother, Grand Duke Michael, to succeed him. And in parentheses, they have March 2nd, so I'm not sure what that's about. 1962, 5 research groups announced the discovery of antimatter. Did you know the first internet domain name, symbolics.com, is registered on this day in the year 1985? Famous birthdays: St. Nicholas, Andrew Jackson, and Eva Longoria. Guess how old she is? 44. So that must be our number today. Or then again, 99 also came up, so never mind. I won't speak too soon. Would you believe Hermann Goring says that 100 to 200 church bells are enough for Germany? Smelt the rest. This happened on this day in the year 1940. Famous weddings. Actress Elizabeth Taylor in 1964 was 32 years old when she married for the 5th time to actor Richard Burton, who was 38. 2010, stand-up comedian and writer Sacha Baron Cohen, I love him, who was 40. He wed actress Isla Fisher, who's 36, in Paris, France. 2014, Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie, 42, weds public relations Michael Feldman, 45, at the Ritz-Carlton Dove Mountain Resort in Tucson, Arizona. Famous deaths: Julius Caesar, Davidson Black, and Benjamin Spock. Benjamin Spock was a pediatrician. He wrote the second best-selling book, Baby and Child Care. He was born on May 2nd in the year 1903 in New Haven, Connecticut, USA, and was a Taurus. He died on March 15th in 1998 at the age of 94. Davidson Black was a paleoanthropologist and Canadian. He discovered the Peking man fossils, which he named Sinanthropus pekinensis, but are now included in the species Homo erectus at the Zhuodian near Beijing in China. He was chairman of the Geological Survey of China and a fellow of the Royal Society. The original Peking man fossils disappeared in 1941 during World War II while en route to the United States, but excellent casts, drawings, and descriptions remain. He was born on July 25th in 1884 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and was a Leo. He died on March 15th in 1934 at the age of 49. So there's both of the numbers, the 4 from the double 4s and the 9 from the double 9s. And of course, 49 itself equals 1304 or 1111. Cause of death was heart failure. Julius Caesar, we just learned a few moments ago, was stabbed to death on this day in the year 44 BC. Well, let's hear it again. His full name was Gaius Julius Caesar. He was a Roman military commander and a statesman. Born of a patrician family, Julius Caesar rose through the political and military ranks of Republican Rome to become consul in the year 59 BC, establishing control of Rome by forming the so-called First Triumvirate with Pompey and Crassus. Appointed governor of 4 legions, he conquered Gaul, greatly extending Rome's empire. In 49 BC, so there's that 49 again, Caesar, refusing to give up his command, he crossed the Rubicon and ignited a civil war. Appointed dictator of Rome in 48 BC, he defeated his opponents, before instigating a series of reforms, including the Roman calendar. He was assassinated in Rome on the Ides of March by a group of conspirators, including Brutus. His death led directly to the end of the Roman Republic and the establishment of the Roman Empire under Caesar's heir, Augustus. He was born on July 13th in the year 100 BC in Rome, Roman Republic, and was a Cancer. He died on March 15th in the year 44 BC at the age of 57 of assassination. Eva Longoria is an actress. She's American, known for her roles as Isabella Bragna on the CBS soap opera The Young and the Restless from 2001 to 2003, and as Gabrielle Solis on the ABC television series Desperate Housewives. She was born on March 15th in 1975 in Corpus Christi, Texas, USA, and is 44, a rabbit on the Chinese zodiac and a Pisces. Andrew Jackson was U.S. President and General, a Democratic Republican. He had prior been Senator from Tennessee, first territorial governor of Florida, a member of the United States House of Representatives from Tennessee's at-large district. His presidential term went from March 4th, 1829, which is 9/11 or 11, through March 4th, 1837. He was preceded by John Quincy Adams and succeeded by Martin Van Buren. Nicknamed Old Hickory, Jackson served as the 7th president of the United States. The son of Irish immigrants, he was orphaned at the age of 14. Jackson began his career as a lawyer in Tennessee, becoming a land speculator, and was one of the 3 founders of the city of Memphis in 1819. After joining the Tennessee militia, Jackson rose to become this general in charge. In this capacity, he fought in the American Revolutionary War. He also defeated the Red Sticks at the Battle of Horseshoe Bend in 1814 and the British in the Battle of New Orleans in 1815. Jackson ran for president in the 1824 election, but the House of Representatives voted in John Quincy Adams as president in the second instance of a contingent election after no candidate won a majority of electoral college votes. Jackson railed against this as a corrupt bargain, and he and his supporters formed the Democratic Party in response. Jackson was eventually succeeded Adams. Okay, I read it right. I was apologizing. I guess they mean Jackson eventually succeeded Adams, not was, in 1828 and became the 7th president. His 2 terms in office were marked by several important events. Believing that the National Bank was a corrupt institution, he authorized its dismantling. And in 1835, he became the only president to pay off the national debt. He confronted South Carolina during the nullification crisis, eventually ending the dispute by amending controversial tariffs and threatening to use the military force. In 1830, he signed the highly controversial Indian Removal Act, which forcibly moved Native Americans, bastard, to Indian territories, and he also vehemently opposed abolitionism, bastard. Jackson retired from office in 1837, and though his reputation was initially positive, it declined during the Civil Rights Movement as a result of his opinions on slavery and his removal of the Indians, because he was a bastard, yes. He was born on March 15th in the year 1767 in the Carolinas, where many bastards are from, although my family is also from there. It's one of the most racist states in the Union, actually. And like one of 5 only remaining that still celebrate Confederate Day. He was a Pisces, and he died on June 8th in 1845. So there's another 9/9. Saint Nicholas, whose full name was Nicolaus of Myra, was a Christian saint and a Greek bishop of Myra. His reputation for secret gift giving, such as putting coins in the shoes of those who left them out for him, made him the model for Santa Claus. He was born on March 15th in the year 270 in Patara, Asia Minor, and was a Pisces. He died on December 6th in the year, at the age of, in the year 343. at the age of 73. So we're beginning with, yes, 29, spiritual partnership. And sex. Not for me. I have my period and nobody to have it with right now at the moment. Okay, so somebody else though. Spirit says massage. Forget it. And cocktail. We're starting with the Two of Fire. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts continue to move forward. And the Four of Water, missing an opportunity, discontentment or boredom. Open your eyes to the possibilities. Four of Water. The Ten of Earth. A very happy family life, financial security, finding magic in the little things in life. Ten of Earth. And the Eight of Air, an illusion of being trapped, a lack of self-confidence, being afraid to take action. That might be why the opportunity was missed, right? Why the Four of Cups was there. And the Three of Air, yeah, something is just lost, ruined. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. But healing and good things to come still. Major Arcana card 17, the Star. Happy times. Make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. Star. The Six of Air. Things are looking up. It's the end of a difficult situation. Maybe even be taking a trip. Overall energy is unity with Archangel Sandalphon. Traditional viewpoints and methods. Spiritual organizations. Seek out mentors and like-minded friends. So somebody could be coming like into some kind of partnership, commitment. The unity or the Hierophant really in the traditional tarot is representative of the sign of Taurus. So that could be involved here. We have that huge transit that we just entered about a week ago, Uranus and Taurus. Also, this is about changing, you know, with whom, where, what we surround ourselves sometimes. It can also be about coming into contact with like large government institutions, higher institutions, college, signing different contracts and stuff, although, you know, some would also say we should be avoiding those during Mercury retrograde. Marriage, other things. Oh, okay. So there's an additional card that jumped out here. I don't know if I should give this to the masculine or no. I'm not going to give it to the masculine. I'm just going to use it, but I'll put it there for now. And the feminine's getting 2 cards down here. A lot of interesting stuff happening right now. A lot of interesting stuff. Okay. So this is an extra card for all of us. It's the Nine of Air. So there's some worry, maybe freaking out, paranoia about something, the need for sleep. I think this is for all of us. Crowning the masculine. The Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement. Change your life now. So the masculine has a shot at something really new and fabulous that he's extremely passionate about. But it could be him who is paranoid. Too afraid to make a move. too nervous about the opportunity not turning out well, falling through, expecting the worst, self-fulfilling prophecies, sleepless nights. He's surrounded by the Chariot, major arcana card, the Chariot, with Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. Both of these cards have a huge moon in them, by the way. There may be something coming up around the next full moon for him. Full moon is in Libra. That's coming up, the sign of Libra, air. So maybe that's why. But the Chariot, where the moon is today, represents the sign of Cancer. Right, where the moon is today. It's also about travel, transportation, movement, moving, all of which can either be literal or figurative. Masculine, so you might have an opportunity to travel. That could be what it is. Opportunity to travel, opportunity to move. Masculine subconscious, 10 of air. Could be attached easily again to this 9 of air. The end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better now. Maybe me recovering from an addiction. In this placement, again, it can be, this is his mind. It can be attached to just his own thoughts. Like maybe he wasn't really going through anything other than a manifestation of his own creating in his head. You know what I mean? There might not be any real toxic or codependent situation surrounding him. But whatever this is, in his head, like as a man thinketh, so he is, right? That's what they say. So if this is what's on his mind, that could be why he maybe not jumping on these, potentially. Crowning the feminine, the Queen of Fire. Confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. The Queen of Fire is a Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. Also, the divine feminine of the tarot. When I was looking at this, when I said he may have an opportunity to move or something, I was also thinking perhaps with I thought Leo specifically, with a Leo, or maybe he's a Leo, and now this could definitely mean again with a Leo. Travel with a Leo. I don't know why that came to mind. Surrounding the feminine. Ooh, the 3 of air. Great sadness. Take time to heal. There's a need to forgive yourself and others. Well, it's mirroring the Chariot, which is running in the opposite direction. So with the 9 of air, 3 of air, Mercury retrograde, which affects travel, rules travel, affects travel. There could be maybe maybe he was supposed to visit her, because these horses are going that way, right? So they're like this. His horses headed this way, her horses headed that way. Maybe a breakup. Or they should have been traveled together. Again, maybe with a Queen of Fire. That's not happening. Or to visit one another. That's not happening. Feminine subconscious. Again, there was 2 cards that came out here. Okay. It's the Star and the High Priestess. So the Star tells us that we can make intentions and bring in what we want, need, and not only can we, that the things that we have prayed for and dreamed about are on their way to us, right? Happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You are on the right path. It can also be about some sort of communication. We could be thinking about communication. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it's about healing too. So a healing energy. Oh, I mentioned it in connection with the 3 of air, I think, didn't I? Wasn't it opposite the 3 of air? I think so. Something like that. So yeah, this could be healing energy to, restore whatever that is. And as far as deciding what you're going to do next, what your next move is, to get further beyond this, or what your next step should be in the future, listen to your intuition, have patience, and consider carefully what you want before acting. So don't just jump out the window, acting crazy. because something didn't go your way, or because there was an argument or a breakup. Remember, Mercury retrograde is a possibility. Yeah, think about it first before you're reactionary. Just be careful of that. Crowning. Major Arcana card 9, the Hermit. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. This is about introspection. You maybe need to go within in order to figure out what you want to do, particularly the feminine, as it relates to, you know, feeling better and her next steps, next moves. For the masculine, you may obviously want to go within too, as it relates to this situation and this movement or moving or travel or victory, you know, with an opportunity. Should he take the opportunity or not? He's afraid. Introspection would help with that. At the root, foundation, the 3 of fire. So maybe some sort of party of 3 involving a fire sign. Not necessarily romantic, but that's a possibility, of course. Could be a love triangle. That may be what caused this pain, this loss, this hurt. The air sign is out, maybe, something like that. Air, earth, fire, again, earth, wind, and fire, what we keep seeing. All right? Earth, wind, fire. The heart of the matter. Major Arcana card, the Lovers, which represents the sign of Gemini. Intimate relationships. Carefully weigh your decisions. Good health. So this air, all this air, could be coming from Aquarius or Gemini, or maybe somebody like me who is both, and a Leo as well. Let's further clarify the Lovers. You know, the Lovers, again, can often have to do with choosing between 2 things or 2 people. And those 2 people, it usually is 2 karmic relationships, like 2 relationships, both of the universe. Of course, one, you know, better meant for you, one of not. And you having to choose between your heart and head, and people use it, and what tradition says, or well, and or maybe to whom you're married. You gotta, you know, maybe you're married, you gotta choose that person, and that's tradition, and, you know, I gotta stay with my family. Or maybe even if you're divorced, you know, you just figure you can't move on. There's some divorced men on this journey too that are having trouble leaving their ex-wives alone, which is kind of bizarre in my opinion. But it's, you know, it's these blockages that pop up for us. And you know, it's like how things look to society, how things look to the family. You know, what's mom gonna think? What's the kid themselves gonna think? They just can't leave these women alone. So in any case, it's that sort of thing. Like, that might be what's traditional and what normally happens, and it takes a little extra to break with tradition. You know, maybe divorce in itself is non-traditional or frowned upon. So even if you're miserable, you avoid that. It's all those sort of things. Now, it doesn't have to be divorce. It doesn't have to be romantic even. The Lovers could be any decision. But I'm trying to just explain, like, the heart versus head, you know, sort of thing that's going on here. And that would make total sense here with this placement of the 10 of air. Like I said, it's all in his head. It's not even a real thing. Driving himself crazy rather than going after his heart, his passions, and doing what he really wants to do. So that's going to require introspection. And the 9 of air explains it all. You like bringing negative stuff into your life because that's what you're focused on. So feminine's 3 of air. Let's see how this goes or what it might be about. Some sort of conflict or the wrong path, a disagreement. Yeah, an unwise choice. Learn what you can from this situation. Review everyone's motives. Could have been other people involved in the demise of whatever this situation is for the feminine. Not just conflict, but sometimes people are you know, they're up to something. They're working against you. They like set you up for different things. I don't know why I'm even feeling that or how to explain it, but hopefully you guys know what I mean. And it says review everyone's motives. Like, you know, why was this person acting so strange or that person acting so strange? What were they up to? That's what that is. And it may be involving a relationship, some sort of partnership. Like some other people could have tried to get in the way and break up a friendship, break up a romantic relationship. You know, misery loves company. So haters do that. And now with the Two of Water sitting here next to the Lovers, yeah, very, very easily that's what it was about. And with all this air, very, very easily it is air signs that are in fact involved. Again, particularly more so than Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So like maybe one's a Gemini, one's an Aquarius. That's possible too. And or of course all the air could also represent Mercury again, and Mercury retrograde. Mercury is in fact Gemini's ruler. Further advice to the masculine for today and the weekend, it is the Tower. So some sort of energy, something quickly comes over you for the good or bad. Maybe I'll clarify this one too. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. This is telling him to fly. This is telling him to move. This is telling him to travel, right? Here's some big wings in this picture too, with Archangel Metatron driving this chariot. So it's telling him to take off, I think, and go after this opportunity. I believe I can fly, right? But he doesn't really believe it because he's got this here, 10 of air in his subconscious. Fire sign. Doesn't have to be Leo, of course, by the way, too, because I'm still feeling something with a fire sign with a masculine. Sagittarius, Aries also. Feminine, our advice. The Magician. So it is more Gemini coming up. You are ready. You have the resources, the ability to manifest them, and life is magical. So Gemini, if something's going left in your life, not Gemini, feminine rather, who may be, in fact, be a Gemini, yes. Something's going left in your life, whether it involves a partnership, you know, friendship, romantic situation, business situation, whatever. You have the ability to fix it and to heal and to change it by making intentions and bringing them to bear. It's your choice. It's this or this, right? Whatever we focus on, that's what we're going to be manifesting. We have the power to bring about things with our minds. So what are you going to focus on? This, expecting the worst and self-fulfilling prophecies, or happy times and making optimistic long-term plans? All right, that's the choice for the feminine today and over the weekend. And masculine, as promised, I will give you one more card to clarify your Tower. Life experience is the Tower. Again, he could be moving. The Chariot, a card about moving. Or he could have an opportunity to move and be afraid to. So what's this? Yeah, maybe to move forward in a relationship. The Two of Fire. This is the card with which we started the reading. You've come into your own. New partnerships or contracts. Continue to move forward. So that's your guidance, masculine. If you could get out of your head and stop with this and stop with this. Similar to the feminine, you two have an opportunity to manifest something wonderful, and it looks like some kind of partnership, easily romantic. Easily romantic. And it may require you to move on, move past an old relationship, including a marriage. Especially if you're divorced. If you're divorced already and you're still hanging around, get on with it. Come on. Leave them people alone. I hope that you guys have enjoyed the daily and weekend reading. I'll be back with the weeklies. Namaste.